Hello, everybody. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this ISV Summit. My name is Raman Kohli, and I lead the PM team that's focused on regional strategic partnerships. We are PACS, stands for Partners, Analytics, and Essential Experiences, and my team is part of the Windows and Devices organization at Microsoft. My colleague and storyteller, Azim, and I today will touch broadly on these key areas during this presentation. So without further ado, let's start with our mission. We'll begin with our mission. Microsoft's mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. We live by this mission each day in our commitments, in our goals, and especially in our partner and customer obsession. My team's mission, or PACS's mission, is to make the Windows platform the preferred platform for our partners and developers for them to build great user experiences, which make our customers make even stronger emotional connection with Windows and devices that run Windows. Our approach is to build and earn the trust of our developers. Evangelism is at the core of what we do. So, let's begin. The Microsoft Cloud, as most of you folks have heard, it primarily consists of the Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, there's LinkedIn, GitHub, and Azure brought together with the Power Platform to help our customers on their digital transformation journey. Our holistic offering spans application infrastructure, data and AI, developer tools, services, security and compliance, business process, productivity, and collaboration. As you can see, it's a comprehensive offering of connected industry-leading clouds that are built to enable organizations' digital feedback loop. In this session, however, we will focus on the Microsoft 365 platform, which consists of Windows, Office, and enterprise mobility and security. So, to simplify the way Microsoft is working and creating services, products, and evolving the platform, we made a public statement for our developer audiences and partners through Satya at Build. And this is also part of the digital transformation journey that we as Microsoft are embracing as a company. So Microsoft 365, clearly most of you guys are familiar. Almost everybody works with Office 365, and it is, as Microsoft's, the world's productivity cloud. Let's start with this journey. So the way we imagine how Microsoft 365 enables all of these attributes is that it all starts with a user or a person, which is at the heart of all experiences that are offered through our Microsoft Cloud. Microsoft Graph, a platform, a framework that you'll hear a lot in the coming sessions during the summit. It enables applications and platforms to deliver a user-centric experience on any platform, on any device, while respecting security and compliance. Microsoft Graph can be extended, enriched by third-party solutions, such as the ones that our partners, such as yourselves, are building, which enabling our software partners to deeply personalize a user experience for your app or your service. Our platform and services such as Graph, Search, and others, they empower users across various segments, such as commercial, consumer, education, to achieve more through collaboration, through greater productivity, which is enabled by Microsoft products, and more importantly, by experiences that are offered to you, our partners. Now, Windows is part of the Microsoft 365 platforms, remains core to Microsoft's growth. Windows 10 brings a wealth of innovation that is driving enriched user experience on devices running the Windows operating system. Today, there are over 1 billion active devices that are running Windows. And Windows has one of the strongest and the most vibrant third-party partner ecosystem on the planet. With a strong focus on security and identity, as well as ease of manageability, Windows is a trusted platform for billions of our users and thousands of our partners. Okay, I'd like to spend a few more minutes on Microsoft Graph, which is a fabric connecting organizations, teams, individuals, wherever they may be, and how it enables a digital feedback loop. This individual, while on the road, is easily connected to business with all of the key data needed for his call at his fingertips. He can review meeting-related data, have a follow-up meeting set up based on his calendar availability, and more enabled through the power of Graph. Any actions or any updates he makes through his device updates his Graph and other people that are connected through the Graph with him. She is working from her workplace, and the Graph is enabling her connected experience as she's updating documents, sending emails, collaborating with other team members that may be in any geography. All of the metadata, interactions, etc. are stored as part of the user Graph in the cloud. And as you can see, for anyone, anywhere, that is part of the enterprise's Graph to have a personalized experience. A digital feedback loop that uses all of the signals from the user and then takes the signals from the users and then creates this user-centric experiences for amazing and greater productivity. Okay, so now you've heard a little bit about the project, the Graph. One of the things that Microsoft is investing in is how do we take advantage of a lot of this metadata, this various interactions, informations, and the data that's stored across the different enterprise silos. How do we leverage that and turn this data into knowledge? So Project Cortex applies AI to empower people with knowledge, with expertise in the apps that they use every day. Cortex automatically organizes content across your teams and systems to connect topics like projects, products, processes, and customers. So making a connection between the vast, making a connection between the vast silos of data that's stored in a typical enterprise and employees benefiting from it is a big challenge. It may not be a huge surprise to many of you to see the staggering cost that can be saved in the US alone by simply reducing the new employee onboarding time by only 1 week. So what is Project Cortex? Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's an investment where we want to turn your content into a knowledge network. With innovations in smart content capture to analyze documents and extract metadata with sophisticated AI models. Building on the leading content services of SharePoint, Project Cortex lets you connect to external systems and external repositories. It uses advanced AI to automate content capture, categorization, and management, and protect information with intelligent security and compliance. So as you've heard me say, these frameworks and technology investment that Microsoft is making, clearly the arc of technology and platform innovation is greatly influencing how and where we work. Each one of us are overwhelmed by more data. Our teams are globally distributed with a focus on shared success over individual achievements. And of course, the ever greater pressure to deliver results fast. So my colleague, Azim, who's also an amazing storyteller, will now show you how he uses his Surface devices to extract the most out of Surface and Microsoft 365. Azim?
Thank you so much, Raman. Now, before I light up here, quick introduction on my side. Azim Verji, I work with the Microsoft 365 Devices Group. I'm the Global Black Belt in the Americas for that role. Looking forward to sharing a few minutes with you folks here today. My goal and ambition is to share with you, as Raman asked me earlier when we were putting this material together, he said, Azim, could you share how you use the devices in your life to make your life easier? The mission statement, which Raman put out earlier, is to empower everyone, every person and organization on the planet to achieve more, Can a device be a part of that story? Can it be a part of that conversation? And the short answer is yes. And so I'm going to show you how I use my device as I go through this on a daily basis in different postures. Now, before we go there, I just want to share with you a quick video. So I'm just going to pop this up here for you. Hope you enjoyed that, because that is exciting stuff. The product that we build today is for everyone. It's affordable. It imagines everything that you can do. It allows you to go from thought to action in the most frictionless manner. And that's what I use my Surface for. So let me give you a bit of a grounding first. Let's maybe start off with where we are today with Surface. The innovation that we build in, the relentless iteration, this concept of good, better, best. Good, better, best is being fixed in time. And of course, what is best today in 6 months' time becomes good. And then you're going to have to shift the curve up again. And so we constantly are iterating our machines to develop better and better in this pursuit of this compulsive obsession of commitment to customers. So here's what we are today. This has been the Surface journey. If we look at the Surface journey and where we started and where we are, back in 2012 is when we probably started out with some Surface Pros out here with the RT. Along the way, if you look and see the machines that we started with early on, there were very few. There was mostly a 2-in-1 category creation device at the time. Totally new experiences that you should get from a new device creation category. You should expect new experiences from these devices. What we have done as a result is grown this family and introduced more products. We introduced the Surface Studio. We introduced the Surface Hub. As we've grown further, we've now got the Surface Hub 2S. And until quite recently, we added in the Surface Pro X and the Pro 7, and we had some LTE devices out here as well, and then smaller form factors. And it begs the question is, why do we do that? And the answer is we understand that people have different requirements, and even if those requirements are different, if they have different personas within an organization, they still need to operate with these devices in different ways, which is what we term as postures. How you interact with your devices matters. The current lineup for the product today, we have just introduced quite recently. You'll notice a few new ones inside of here. There's the Surface Duo out there. We just updated the Pro X with some new offerings inside of there as well. We've added in the 85-inch, and the 50-inch, of course, has been around for the Surface Hub. And then we've added in a new Laptop Go as well quite recently. So some really new offerings that we've had out here. And you should probably take a look at some of these offerings to see if they fit inside your ecosystem. What has changed inside of here, what has not changed, is the way that we have to work with these devices. The environment has changed. We live in a COVID world today, and things are different. We are working primarily from a remote-based situation today. The in-person meetings are less. We have requirements for teams and teams to work and collaborate in new ways in different parts of the geography, wherever they may be. We have to learn to live with these new experiences, and we have to develop how to be the best in those moments. Surface as a device tries to extract that out for you, not only to be the best in that moment, but in every interaction with your technology as well. Let's take a look and see what we have in the way of the device itself. The key thing that I'm going to show you a little later on as well is what we term as these natural inputs, the way that we interact, these natural interactions with our device. I'm going to highlight that for you as we go through the various postures, whether I'm using pen or whether I'm using my fingers to touch and zoom in as I'm doing out here, or whether it is going to be voice, or whether it's going to be my external keyboard, external mouse, or if I'm on my Surface Pro, if it's going to be the type cover that I use or the trackpad. Am I going to recline that in a new way, use the kickstand, and have that, make sure that it's in my perfect writing angle with my hand resting on the screen and holding my pen as a pen and not a stylus, and writing with it as I would on paper. That's where we're going to start to see these new natural interactions come in. What I term as it's the unconscious agility or the unconscious fluidity, where I don't have to think about what device I have and whether I have a pen capability or whether I have touch capability or voice capability. I don't have to think about that. I flow between them throughout my day. You'll start to see this come true and light up for you as well. So let's go down to the next slide here, which is going to be the rich display and sound, the volume, the mic's uncompromising quality, the speakers absolutely beautiful, as well as the screens, the pixel sense, the depth of color, the richness of this experience. It is a premium device and it affords you a premium experience. Show your best, be your best in every moment, in every interaction. We want you to bring your best, and we want the technology to allow you to bring your best out. It's not about unleashing the device as much as it is about unleashing your potential. So let's take a look at what we have in the way of tools today. So built in the Surface, we've obviously got the Windows 10 Pro. Security is a big thing here, and management as well as deployment, as well as support and warranty. But I want to focus in today on the Office 365 experiences. As we know, the story with Surface is built around Windows 10, Office 365, our security leg, and then, of course, the device. And if that device is Surface, then I can absolutely give you the greatest gift that most people would give me is the greatest gift is going to be the gift of time. So we're going to give that back to you today. Earlier, I talked about the personas. We know we've fleshed out the family. We've seen different devices for different groups of people within an organization. But how does that person in each of those groups interact with their devices? Here's what we term as a journey map. A Jackie, a new hire, and him or her is getting the device and walks through this day in their life using different tools and technologies to express themselves and express themselves fully. Whether it's an ideation workshop with a customer or whether it's working with a Surface Hub and doing some collaboration using Teams and Whiteboard, or whether it's actually turning a device around and using it to take better meeting notes or present better on a Teams call. These are various motions that Jackie may have throughout the day. And so I'm going to show that to you today. We live in a world today where we might be working out of the bedroom, we might be in a cafe or in a coffee shop or in our house on a table as well. These are new experiences that we have got to come to live with and explore fully. So let me share with you my day. I'm going to walk you through different ways to maybe present, some of which you've already seen, and I hope you'll find exciting. And then there's going to be other things that I'm hoping that you may take and may inspire you to do more and do better. So let's start out with trying to deliver more engaging presentations. This is something that we found with a lot of our corporate clients, a lot of our commercial clients, our enterprise clients. This material I'm going to share with you seems to resonate with them tremendously, and hopefully you'll find it just as engaging. So let's take a look at how we do presentations if we're in a remote world where I've got to present to you. Is there a better way to present than what we've traditionally done? Let's first of all start with the simple things, and let's not diminish the value of these. The pinch and zoom. The fact that I can actually pinch and zoom here allows me to focus in on what I may want to talk to. So if I'm making a point, just simply pinch and zoom. Your Surface devices all have touch capability. Why don't we use that and use that? Now, if we're not doing that, it's primarily because we may have had 20 years of conditioning of learning not to do it. Our previous devices never afforded that, never accorded us that opportunity. But with Surface, it's all there, and we should use this. So pinch and zoom is a very simple one, but very, very powerful. The other one is the inking and annotation. As you've noticed, I've done this throughout the presentation here. I've highlighted things. I've been annotating as I go along, and I'm going, wow, let's do that here. And I can absolutely do that on this presentation as we go along. Now, it's not only PowerPoint. I can do that in any application that's on my screen, be it Word, be it Excel, be it PowerPoint, be it, if I want, inside of the Edge browser. I'll show you how to do some things inside of there as well. The third one that I'm going to show you here is the snipping, this concept of snipping and annotating. I use this constantly. So let me give you an idea of what this is. Right now, when I annotated this particular document here in PowerPoint, my autosave button is currently off here. But had that been on, all the changes that I would be making here would be destroying this document. If this was my primary master document, I would not be able to, all these changes would be saved and just create chaos for me for the next time I needed to go in. So one of the ways that I can do is I can use the thing called Snip. I've got a pen that is programmable. It has a button at the back that has 4 functions. It's an eraser, of course, but you can program 3 other functions in on it. And I've programmed my pen with a single click to simply light up the Snip tool, which you're seeing up on my screen right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a quick snip of this document out here. It will fly up here and open up in this application called Snip and Sketch. I'm a totally different application. And a picture paints 1,000 words. So how can I paint that picture quickly? I can work with impunity on this particular document. I can destroy this knowing it's not affecting the original document. I can go inside of here. I can highlight things inside of here. I can annotate inside of here. And I can obviously choose different pen colors and different pen widths as well. So this starts to get to be exciting. This is a very powerful tool. I can use that inside of course, I use that in PowerPoint, but I may want to go inside of here and be working inside an Excel spreadsheet. And I may want to snip that data out of here and do the same thing out of here and maybe say, let's just focus on Grandma's boysenberry spread. At $177, 100%, we've hit our quota. This is fantastic. This looks really good. The point that I'm making is that you can annotate inside of this on a picture, and then I can actually take that photograph and I can go over to my Outlook email here, which I'm just going to fly open over here. And let me just go down to my calendar. Let me just actually go down here and send Raman a quick email here. So Raman, I'm just going to send you down a quick note here where there's the commentary that we had. So that's pretty cool from that perspective. There's a quick Snip and Sketch concept idea there. The next thing that I want to show you is presentation mode inside of PowerPoint. So let me go back into my PowerPoint here. And what you'll notice inside of here is if I go into presentation mode here, actually what I'm going to do is let me mark this document up here. So I'm going to mark this as 1. I'm going to mark this slide as 2. And then I'm going to go down to slide 1 here and go into presentation mode. I'm actually going to turn off my accessibility options here right now, which is putting subtitles in at the bottom here, just for the sake of clarity here. And built into my pen with a single click of the button, when I'm in presentation mode, if I press the button once, it'll move the slide forward. If I press and hold the button, it will move the slide backward. This is built in. It's got a remote clicker. There's nothing to program. You have this fully available to you. Now, whilst we're in presentation mode, why don't we just take a look at accessibility? As I'm speaking, it's actually taking my voice in, translating my voice into text. This is a very powerful feature to have. I would strongly recommend you do this. You can change the language. And so if you're working across geographies, that's a very powerful feature set as well. All right, let's switch gears here for a moment here. There is one other method of telling stories, and this is the one that I tend to use a lot. And so I'm going to show this to you here as well. There's my background. What I tend to do is I'll take a photograph using the snip, a single click, which I use about 50 to 100 times a day in so many different ways. I'll take a single snip off that whole photograph of that background. I can now fire it up again in Snip and Sketch, this fabulous application, and I can now go inside of here and change the color as well as the pen width here, and I can start to draw and tell my story of digital transformation. And I may go back inside of here and choose a different pen width here, transformation, and the journey that we are all on. And can Surface be a part of that journey here? And can it get rid of my paper notebook entirely? And can it increase my productivity, my creativity, and my agility? And the answer is yes, it can, resoundingly. And so you start to see how I can tell this story on my own photographs. By the way, I'm an avid photographer, and these are my photographs. I love showing them off, but I love showing them off on my Surface with that rich screen and display. So there's some ways that you can actually have a better presentation experience if you're delivering presentations. Now, here's a flip side to that. And this is going to be taking meeting notes. How do I actually take better meeting notes? Or if I'm listening to a webinar, if I'm receiving some information, how can I actually operate in that manner and be a little more cohesive on that? I'm going to take you through a couple of quick examples. We could go on and we're probably going to run out of time. So I'm hopefully not going to take too much time here, but I'm going to give you a quick sense of what I do. So when I get a meeting request, we've had a meeting request here today. We had a test run earlier with Raman. I'm going to pull that document in here. I go to my meeting details. I fire that up. A quick Alt-Shift-D will pop in my date stamp right in that subject title there. And now you'll notice that I actually have it right up against my page there as well. So it sorts my pages out. When I file them later, I know which ones were the most current dates or not. I start taking my notes inside of here with my pen, which is absolutely magnificent. Now, many may say I just want to type, and I'm not suggesting typing's bad. Typing is good. There's a place for it, but there's also a place for pen. If you're doing an org chart, if I had to ask Raman, hey, you know, who do you report into? He goes, oh, I report into Joyce. And, you know, Jill reports into me, but I also have Karen, and Karen's moving away. She's shifting out from this role. I can actually draw this org chart out and move things around. I go, well, who's Karen joining? And you go, well, she's joining up with James's organization. Okay, fantastic. So I know that now, and I can make those notes inside there as well. So writing is powerful, and we can capture this inside of here with tremendous amount of ease. What I'm going to show you is a couple of things here as well. I'm just going to do this here. This is a test. This is something that I kind of show off all the time here. I'm going to circle that with my right clicker on my pen. I'm actually going to make a copy of that here by pressing on it with my finger and saying copy, pressing with my finger and saying paste. I've got a second copy here. And what I am going to do this time around is actually use my ink to text conversion here. So I'm just going to go from inking to text conversion here, and it converted that quite nicely. But there is another option here as well, which I do want to share with you. In my taskbar, I've got my touch keyboard. In my touch keyboard, I've got different settings for my keyboard styles, one of which is this handwriting panel, which I can float around on my desktop. So I could actually just start writing inside of this panel, and it will do this conversion automatically. Now, what's also noticeable here is I can join words as well. I can also separate words. I can scratch them out, or I can flip my pen over it and erase that word as well. Very, very powerful tools to do this. And whilst I'm in here, let's just say this was the meeting notes that I had. And then later on, I had some actions that I needed to follow up on. And all these actions were listed down here, but I now need to convert them into typed text. I could do any of the things I just showed you, but there is one more alternative here as well. Very powerful. Again, I just tap my screen with my finger, and it knows that I'm now in writing mode. And so it flies open my handwriting panel, and I'm going to click the dictation button. And when I click that dictation button, it's going to take my voice and convert my voice into typed text. I can start to dictate into this ad nauseum, and it will retain it all. I'm going to stop it here, and you'll see this conversion, and I don't even need to look at it. It is super accurate. So I'm just going to stop that there, and you'll get an idea of what can happen there with the art of the possible. So we've done a few of these things here. Here's one that's kind of interesting here. I'm just going to share a couple of quick views for you here. This was an article. This is an article that I found somewhere on heart healthy snacks. It says, tape it to your fridge. It's a photograph. I brought that inside of OneNote. What I do want to do with this is I'm going to actually, it's a photograph. I can't edit this text. I can write over it, but I can't edit it. What I want to do is, how can I make this text editable? So I'm going to tap on this, and inside of OneNote, you can tap on it and say copy text from picture. I'm going to put my finger down here and paste it, and now it's all in editable text here. So I can actually go inside of here and highlight text, or I can do things with it at this point. Very, very powerful feature. Now here's a little cool little tip here as well. If you notice inside of my photograph, I've got the word heart. It's a photograph. Inside of my converted text here, I've got the word heart, which is editable text. And I've just written the word heart up here as well. Now let me go inside of here and actually go and search for that word heart. And when I do, you'll notice it picks up a variety of things here. And so again, using my snipping tool, I can show you what that is. And that's going to be, whoops, let me just go get that back here again. Let me do that again one more time. I'm just going to go inside of here, and you'll see what heart actually picks up here. It goes inside of here. It'll find these three elements out here. Let me show them to you. Here we go. Fire that up here. And where I went looking for heart, and it picked up my written text, it picked up my editable text, and it also picked up the word inside of a photograph. That's pretty astounding here. I'm going to pause there for now. There is one last thing that I'm going to show you. Use your device for work. Use it for life as well. Tell your stories. Tell your stories. And so one that I tend to use here is one where I use Microsoft Sway, which is part of Office 365. When I go on journeys, I tell my stories. I take my photographs and put them into Sway. Now you could use this for business as well as for life. I'm showing you my life portion here. I've added some music into this Sway, some text out here. I put a map inside of here that I actually went out, and these were the places we went to see when I was visiting in Lisbon. And Roman might say to me, hey, Azim, you know, where did you go again? I'll take my little snip here. And what I will do is I'll tell him, hey, you know what? What we did here on this journey was we did this on day 1, we did this on day 2, and we did all of this on day 3. Now, we didn't really do that, but I want to give you an idea of what the art of the possible here is. I can send that off to him, and he can go and see that right away as well. So thank you very much. I'm going to pause there. I'm going to go back to our presentation here and make sure that we've covered up everything that I promised I'd cover off for you here, which was how to give more engaging presentations, how to have more empowered meetings here as well. This concept of unconscious agility. It's not necessarily about choice. It's about able to flow between all of these elements. Sometimes I want pen, sometimes I want touch, sometimes I want voice. And depending on where I am in that moment, I don't want to think about my tools. I want to let the technology disappear. There you go. Thank you so much. Roman, any closing remarks from yourself?
Hey, Azim, thank you so much. This was exciting to see. Again, it essentially reinforces the message we've been delivering as a company, that we are, as we build and innovate on new platforms and new technologies, ultimately it's all about making our users the most productive, the most collaborative, and essentially making sure that their lives, when they connect to our systems and applications and third-party solutions that are available and take advantage of these frameworks and technologies, that we're deriving delightful experiences to our users. You folks enjoy the rest of your sessions, and it's such a pleasure. Goodbye.